Hi there, this is Leon Kennedy, back here with the Evil Within, Akumu mode, and this is chapter 14
You've got to be alive.
of 15. And we're going to see the last of those chapters today. This chapter is great. I love this chapter. It has the same sort of feel as chapter 13. And, you know, it's a survival-oriented, slow type of experience with shadows and rain. And I guess we're basically in a subway station, a very run-down and ruined subway station, going underground. But I always thought that this level was kind of like, I don't know, you come near the end of it to places where there seem to be like brains and electricity, and I realize it's supposed to represent STEM, but I always thought of it as kind of going into Ruvik's brain, which we're eventually going to be really on in chapter 15, kind of his subconscious. By the way, if you press this, a bunch of those decrepit little babies are going to come out. And you're going to have to flash them or they can kill you. So don't do that. Okay? Don't do that. Don't do it. So it plays into a lot of the symbolism in this game, which is basically what it's about, as we discussed at the end of last chapter. You know, at most you could say this is a game of symbolism, not so much a game of cogent story. I totally always remember there being shotgun shells there, but I guess that's only in lower difficulties. Anyway, there's a key. Here's he. Nice! That is a guy who has really excelled at target practice. Actually, it's not his fault. It's the gun's fault. He was aiming just fine. So the symbolism, let's come back to that. The symbolism of the enemies, for example, like the Haunted are people who Ruvik despises. You know, burned down his barn and killed his sister and messed his face up in his body and all that. The Sadist apparently is the mind of a psycho killer who was in STEM and melded with Ruvik's own madness and rage. All the enemies are basically something plus Ruvik's rage. You know, Laura. Laura is his sister plus his own venom, or whatever. Hence, like the spider and the way he traps everybody in the web that is actually his brain in STEM. And I don't know, the Keeper, right? The Keeper is his safe and his desire to keep his research or whatever hidden and private, plus his rage, and so on. And the boss of this level, Quell, who I think is the hardest boss of the game, is sort of an octopus disappearing type thing. He apparently is Ruvik's desire to remain invisible. Well, it's all interesting stuff. Not exactly unique, because that's more or less what Silent Hill is all about, giving enemies that kind of symbolic meaning, psychological. So let's get into the gameplay here. There are a few ways you can do this section at the beginning. Down here, there's an invisible guy right there. There's a Ruvik clone right in there. Alright, and in here, there's a guy running around with an agony bolt, shooting bombs on the wall. Now you can take care of the Ruvik clone and the agony bolt guy up here if you wish. You'll come in there, you will kill him, probably blow up some of the bombs so you can walk around, and that'll alert the Ruvik clone. He'll come up here when you come out of the bathroom and give you a kind of jump scare, and you'll have to deal with him there. Or you can go down here, burn the invisible guy, and deal with the Ruvik clone and like set an explosive bolt, you know, around here, or well, whatever kind of bolt you want. And the agony bolt guy will come down, and you can deal with him that way. The way I usually do it is just this way, but I'm going to warn you, it's more dangerous. Because almost always when you go to burn this guy, Ruvik will see you. So you want to prep. And I'm going to put the explosive bolt here just in case that guy comes down too quickly. And I'm going to prep a shock bolt for Ruvik. So here's a little trick that you need to know. With people who are, you may have seen me do this like in chapter 10, with people who are asleep, as it were, on the ground, and you know they're going to get up, they won't get up if you approach to burn them if you're crouching. And that's worth elaborating on as far as the mechanics of this game go. I haven't employed this a lot just because I'm impatient, but a lot of that shit you see with people flailing around on the ground and hitting you when you go up to put a match on them, like standing up, that can be, if not completely negated, then really mitigated by kind of running up to them and crouching. And because it seems that the match prompt comes quicker or farther away when you're crouching. And so you kind of get up within range of them, like pretend that's an enemy, and you just like crouch there and then come up and do it. And when they swing at you or they get up, you're not fucked and they won't hit you, and then you can just turn and run or pull out the shotgun or whatever. Like I said, oh my god, I was making too much noise. Flashbolt. Ha! Well, that, what did I do? What did I do wrong? Maybe I just took too much time. Maybe it was my light. Yeah. Well, anyway, I just used an extra bolt there that I shouldn't have used. This guy should be coming down. Maybe he'll only come down after you shoot this guy. I don't want to waste my sniper ammo, so I'm going to give him the old in-out. In, out. So just come back up here, because there's some good stuff in this room. Over here, where the Mr. Agony Bolt is, there is a bottle. There should be anyway. And just, now, he might come out quickly and just fire one on you, and if you do, that's just bad luck. But, yeah. Come on, big guy. Crouch. It works okay. Word to the wise on these things, they are not normal explosives. God, I hate the sounds on this level. Apparently they're like the sounds of STEM, the inner workings of STEM, but it always sounds like a fucking enemy is around you. I mean, it's creepy as hell. I love it, but I hate it. So you can either disarm them, which is difficult. You saw a couple of them in chapter 13, or you can just blow them up, which is what I generally prefer. See, and like shoot, if you didn't kill the Ruvik clone before, blowing those things up would alert him, and he would come up. All right. Do you think that's going to kill me? What's your opinion? You know what? I'm not taking the chance. Get some parts anyway. Give me my harpoons. Isn't that a fucking harpoon? It certainly is, but I think it's mine. Okay, careful of the bear trap right here. It has got me before. There is going to be green gel, by the way, like hiding everywhere in this chapter here and in the mushy contents of the neurons and synapses of the brains. Okay, so this part is harder than it seems. There's going to be a Ruvik clone down there. You can't see it, but you'll see it when we get in. And there's going to be 2 snipers in a subway car. And you just want to ice bolt the Ruvik clone and then snipe the 2 other guys. Really not difficult unless you miss, which does happen, especially with unupgraded freeze bolts. Just get in here. Alright. I want to get Machine Gun Man first. I don't think I killed him. Where is he? Did I get him? I think I did. That's that. Your only task now in the rest of this part is to be fucking careful. Crouch, crouch, crouch. Crouch, crouch. Now, if you want to be quick about this, you can crouch in the water, go over there, and then just go into the cart. But I like to kind of clean up around here and try to pick up some green gel from some of these invisible guys. And I recommend, well, I don't recommend, it's kind of stupid, but it's not terribly dangerous. But just in case you fuck up and wake one of them up and you do what I do, prep a flash bolt or 2. Yeah. So, like we were saying, don't worry. There are invisible guys on all of these things. Okay. So don't make too much noise. Like I said, crouch up to this guy, and then when you get the prompt, just mash circle when you're walking up to him, and you'll burn him. Okay. Then you have to disarm these red things you see because they're alarms. And it'll alert a few other guys who are down yonder in the subway carts. I really love this level. It's just, it's a great atmosphere. Alright, disarm that. And then... burn in hell, dipshit. Now, no worries on setting alarms off and whatever. We want to burn these guys. So first things first. Just mash the circle button when you get up to this. Oh boy. Whoo! Made me a little worried. I had a feeling that was going to happen. Approach from this side. Please don't run at me. Okay. Gonna be another one over there. You don't want to approach him from like this side because the prompt won't come quick enough. You want to approach him from the kind of front area of the rock. Yeah. Those guys give you 1,000, so it's really special. You can see what my priorities are. Alright. Only, now, don't just rush, because this is one of those creepy levels. There's going to be a bear trap when you get in here. Right there. And I think there's going to be another one in the cart up ahead. Just play it cool. Crouch if you want. Or just stroll. Take a nice little stroll like this, but just don't run. Fuck you, bear trap. Okay. Handgun rounds, good. Alright, so you see that guy in there. He's in another cart, and he's got an agony bolt, an agony crossbow. Usually, I guess sometimes he has a gun, which doesn't make much sense because there's explosive bolts all over there. What I like to do is kind of creep out and then wait for him to pass by some of the explosives and just shoot him and blow him up. There's going to be 2 explosive bolts behind you. Here. And, yeah. Do I even have any explosive bolts? Yeah, man. Took a risk, but I want to be full up. Just because. Now we're going to start coming into the brain shit. After we take a gander at the city and how it's looking rejuvenated. When you come up here and you get the prompt to look out at the city, 5 seconds later or something, guy's going to run in here. You just want to shotgun him.
Be a way to get up there somehow.
Dude, I think I killed him with that shotgun blast. I think that's happened maybe never. Alright. Careful to not miss this key over here. Sorry. Over there. Mm-hmm. 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 Alright, now begins, let's say, the alter ego part. This next part you just want to try to run through as best as possible and keep moving. So if you just look at my path, you'll be okay. Unless one of them just randomly spawns something from his chest and, you know, you get unlucky. Like that. Okay. He's gonna chest burst. Duck under this thing and burn him. This guy will walk into this and kill himself. I don't think they're gonna follow you in here. So, you know, this chapter is really not that hard. There's one part near the end that can be trying because there's 2 traumas there, and it can be tough to shock bolt them like you need to. But the real challenge in this level is the boss. The Quell is, aside from maybe, well, I don't know. I mean, in objective terms, meaning if you're not cheesing him with the Magnum like we're going to be doing, he could be the hardest boss in the game. He is very annoying because he'll disappear up into holes in the ceiling and then put those little maggot worm type things out there that the spider birthed, apparently. Yeah. So, when you come in here, on lower difficulties, one guy's going to come out of there and that's it. I'm pretty sure that's this part. But in this version, in Akumu, it's not just going to be him, but a guy is just going to spawn and appear from here and walk in. I don't know how I like to do this. You can try to like lure and burn, but I don't like to do that. I like to shock bolt and then try to burn him and him at the same time, and if he doesn't, I'll just shotgun the motherfucker. Okay? Alright, here he comes. I missed. Man, that was a true disaster. I can't lie. That should have worked. I don't know what else to say. That should have worked. This part again, stay crouched because there will be a little trap when you come around. He's not going to do shit because some guy wants to tongue him. I guess that's the Quell. Around this corner over here, to the left, there's a little trap. There are alter egos hanging in all of these alcoves that you see on the side, and you just don't want to wake them up because it'll just make your life difficult. They're kind of tanky in this level, as you just saw. With a level 3 shotgun, they almost depleted an entire clip. Should be a guy over here. I'm gonna burn him. Give me something. Give me something. Give me something. I don't think these guys actually give you goo. I've tried a million times and I don't recall ever getting any. I think there might be a key in here. Yes, there is. Yeah, why not? I'm not even sure I'm gonna be using freeze bolts anymore. But we'll see. Now, when you go across this way, you're gonna be introduced to the wonderful world of bear traps in water that you can't see. creep past this thing. Yeah, the wonderful world of bear traps in water that you can't see. Right in here. So kind of walk to your left and just mash X and creep forward, and there's a bear trap. This guy deserves some inflammation. And we're done. Okie dokie. Turn this and come over here. The water's gonna drain, and this is actually kind of like Resident Evil. Fucking Mikami loves shit where you're turning some crank in a place with water, and the water drains down, and I don't know, snakes are revealed, or sharks, or in this case, a fucking alter ego. I want to try to harpoon this bitch. They move in kind of wonky ways, so it can be difficult to snipe them, or at least you might miss. Don't run too far ahead. I guess he's dead. See, again, did I kill him with one harpoon bolt? What is going on? I guess he's dead. Alright. There is another wonderful secret up here, which is another bear trap in water. So creep up. What? No. Did he There usually is a bear trap there, like right in front of this tunnel, but he might have set it off when he fell down. There's going to be green gel here, and green gel up here. We're coming up to the hard part. And this part was giving me so much trouble the last time I played that I just fucking killed the traumas. I just fired 2 magnum rounds into each of them and took the L. WT fuck, right? Alright, now. Here's the deal. On lower difficulties, you play this part, there is maybe 1 trauma, maybe no traumas. I don't even remember, but it's easy. You know, there's just alter egos everywhere. You run and put the thing in, and then you or take the thing out, and then you maybe use a shock bolt, turn the lever, and get out. But in this one, there's 2 traumas, and they're fucking tanks. I mean, real tanks. Like, there were times when I was trying to kill them without using the magnum, and I just couldn't. Like, I could, but I was wasting so much explosive bolts and sniper ammo and shotgun rounds that I would just let them kill me because it was just costing too much ammo. I'm sure there's quicker ways to kill them. I don't know what they are. And I am first going to try to do this without killing them. But the problem is when you're pulling the thing out that you need to pull out at the other end, there's a little cutscene, and the trauma who's behind you, he can kind of move at you while the cutscene is going on. So you might have just no time to fire your shock bolt. And you might say, well, then fire your shock bolt before you get there. Well, that's the problem, because if he moves towards you, which he often does, then he'll set the shock bolt off while you're pulling the thing out and in the cutscene. And he'll just whack you in the head when you get out of the cutscene. So you're going to want more than 1 shock bolt here. You're going to want at least 2, and 3 maybe just for security. So that's how I'm going to play it. Ready? Break. Fuck. God! I had to waste 2 shock bolts there. Unfortunate, or rather 3 shock bolts. Anyway, the quell is up there. Bust him in the chops. What? Swear to God there was like green gel to grab somewhere. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna go into the save room and get some shock bolts. If I have any. And I'll probably come back again when the level's over and I get it one more key, and then fuck around and try to get my my final 2, well, the 2 keys in the God damn it, in the lockers. I'm just I get so anxious when I think about this. And see, you might say like, okay, just save it before you open the lockers and keep opening them until you get the keys. And I've thought of that, but I'm having this feeling that like maybe on some playthroughs the keys just don't spawn. Right? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we have to get the keys. Because there's only 2 more keys in this level. So, and I'm not even sure we can use the last one. Gel. Sniper ammo. Thank you. Thank you. That makes me happier than any success that I've had. I don't know why. I really don't. I like, even though I don't need to, it makes me feel so good, like the ultimate reward to get that 100,000 gel at the end. Should I do any upgrades now, or should I just wait until 15? I really don't need to, so we're just going to fight the boss. Turns out I didn't have any shock bolts in there, which is the whole fucking reason I came. Boy, those shock bolts, man, they drain fast your trap parts. Okay, so load up your Magnum, which is hopefully at level 5 now. How's my aim on my Magnum and my firing rate? That's what I'll check out. Because this guy, you know, he can break free of your shock bolt before you fired enough shots into him, and then you'll have to shoot another shock bolt, and then you might wind up missing or something, and it can be annoying. So my accuracy. Uh-huh. There. Just in case. So let's fight fucking Squid Man.
Shit. This is dead.
I don't... God, there.
Damn it. What am I, an electrician?
Your task here? This is not exactly like a novel strategy. It's been around for ages, but in case you wondered, you're gonna shock bolt him as quick as possible and then fire away with the Magnum. Oh, show me those tentacles. I call him Hentai. That's his secret name. That's his code name. Quell is his official name, but his code name is Hentai. It can be difficult to tell when he's dead, so I did not count. I think that was 6 shots, but I might have even killed him in 5. I don't know. I fired 7 into him. I fired 8. The problem is sometimes he bleh, and then he'll get up and just fly away. So you just want to make sure that he's dead. Anyway, I have plenty of Magnum ammo, it turns out. And yeah, if you have this much, you will be more than okay for the final level. Yeah, so you just want to put this... Oh, sorry. You have to get the final piece over here. The key's going to be in that area over there. I'm going to unequip my Magnum now. Alright, so you see the order the pieces are in now? Just put that one there. And then go and turn the very Shinji Mikami-ish crank and listen to the wonderful groaning of Sebastian, who groans like a man, unlike, you know, Ruvik. You're gonna hear Ruvik's little bitch scream in chapter 15. It's just... I don't know. I always thought that was the weirdest thing. Ruvik has a deeper voice than fucking Sebastian does. You know, that sycophant, that dickhead. He was a strong man, but pious. He believed everything the church said. Blah blah blah. You know. Not thinking. And then when he screams, it's like, ah! And you'll hear Sebastian scream when he's falling in the last chapter. He doesn't scream like that. I don't know. I don't know. Just weird, funny things. Strange things. The Evil Within is a strange, strange game. You never know what's going to happen. Including if Ruvik is going to scream like a little girl. We're not quite done yet. As I mentioned before, we're going to have to fight those 3 weirdos that Ruvik was doing science on. Or maybe it was Mobius. I don't know. I think it was Ruvik. And it's weird because it's like the same fight. You're just doing it again. Here's the last key. Yeah, it's pretty stupid, and I say that advisedly because there's no reason for it. I have never been able to think of a reason for it, and like giving such importance. You fight who twice in this game? You fight the sadist, twice or more. The sadist, the keeper, arguably Ruvik, Laura. But these fucking guys? Who are they? What are they doing on this planet? What are they trying to accomplish? What do they want? What do they want? It makes you do the, you know, put the emphasis on the H. What and why are they here? What the fuck? Why am I here? Where am I going? Who are you? Another motherfucking shock bolt we have to waste, and guys, we're gonna waste more in chapter 15. This is why it's important to save up your parts to make these things easier for you as the game goes on.
And I have done you a favor.
I will do anything to get this fucking handgun ammo. Anything!
Nobody in the world knows you.
Fuck you, Jimenez. I never liked you.
I have surpassed you in every way you can imagine.
You know what's funny?
No matter
In a way,
what I need.
Ruvik and Sebastian have the same enemy.
That is why.
And I know he kind of points this out in the DLC, I think, with Kidman. But Ruvik hates a lot... Oh, shit. I don't need the fucking green gel.
You couldn't complete it without me.
Ruvik hates a lot more people than just Mobius. That's true. But ultimately, in our purposes in this game, you know, we're really against Mobius, who's the biggest bad guy of all. Ruvik is just somebody who Mobius arguably created by putting his brain in this state. There's that stupid ass brain again. I don't know. Look, I am not an expert on this story. I've played this game a million times, but I just don't give a shit about the story. So I kind of just make things up as I go along. And that's that. C'est ça. So let's see in the first place if I can actually get my 100,000 gel. Praise the Lord. If you're ever having trouble opening a locker, just like point your gun at it. Like that. There it is. All right. I kind of wish I had. Well, this is I'm fairly sure this is the last time you're ever going to be able to grab anything from these lockers. So you might as well do upgrades now so you can get at least the things that like shotgun, sniper, which I can't get. So I'm going to do that. Because there's going to be a fight in here which you don't really need a lot of ammo for if you do it properly, but you're liable not to do it properly, and therefore you're going to want some backup, some a crutch. Whatever you do here, make sure that those bolts, like your flash and shock bolts, are at 5. Yeah, and I'm just gonna do explosive bolts for the shit of it. Gonna maximize my sprint time finally, and I wanna do my shotgun. No, stop that. Maximize that. Get the clip capacity up. See the fire rate, reload time. I don't think we're gonna need more than that. Fire rate? How much is that? 12,000? Well, if I... Wait a second. My clip capacity's at 8. And how about here? 6? Yeah, let's do stock. Where's my shotgun? Yeah. Yeah. So that's it, and we're gonna get a little bit more gel before we come to the main event, the arena brawl in the middle of the chapter, I guess you could say, because the beginning is just fucking walking around. So we're gonna be back at Beacon, right? And we're gonna have a bit of time to relax and chill and talk. And yeah, I don't know. I was kind of thinking about what we were talking about at the end of the last video.
This way.
You know, about roughly standards. What makes the difference and the distinction between someone's favorite something and what they judge the best something is. So I'd wager that a lot of people, maybe not everyone, but a lot of people, including myself, might have a different opinion on what their favorite movie is and what they think the best movie is. You know, or like music is a really good example, because your favorite music could be fucking, I don't know, Led Zeppelin or something, but you wouldn't necessarily say that it's the best. Like, to put it in the same league as Beethoven or something, it sounds kind of ridiculous. So there is a favorite and there is a best. And I've said before, this is probably my favorite game. Yeah, but by no means does that entail that I think it's the best game. And you know, and what let's think about a movie for an example. Like, I fucking love the movie Rising Sun. I love it. And it is so silly and ridiculous, but it was there for me in times when I was having tough times and my mind wasn't so well, and it just allowed me to go to this fun secret world with these two very funny guys who were partners with each other, Sean Connery and Wesley Snipes, at their peak, and just do sort of witty, kitschy, pseudo-Japanese banter with each other. Philip Kaufman banter, you know, the guy who directed it. And I just never get sick of it. But nobody really liked it. It got mediocre reviews when it came out.
Just like Joseph said.
I don't care. I love it. I love it. And compared to what I think the best movie is, I don't know what I would say the best movie is, but let's just say something like, in terms of raw cinematic achievement, something like 2001: A Space Odyssey. You know, I'm not saying that's my opinion, but it's a viable opinion to have anyway. And it's a movie that I can agree is like worthy of the highest regard as a cinematic achievement. But I mean, is 2001: A Space Odyssey, is that going to be there for me when I'm stuck in a rut? when my mind is struggling and I'm feeling shitty and I need something to pick me up or take me out of the shittiness of life. I mean, we all know the shittiness of life, right? We all know how tough it is and how stressful it can be and how deep and mysterious the cosmos is, and it's great to think about that stuff, and I like to do it. But with the lives that we have, the busyness, it's not something that you can partake in on a regular basis. So when something is your favorite, even if you don't judge it the best, it's in effect your personal best. Favorite almost means better than best because it's intrinsically personal. It's inherently personal. So, I mean, the downside of it is saying, like, confusing the two and then saying to someone, you're a piece of shit, you love this game and it's stupid, or you love this movie and it's bad and blah, blah, blah. And really what you're just saying is you don't like it, or you love it so much. And confusing that with making sort of objective aesthetic judgments about it. Which I don't want to start this huge contentious discussion here, but you know, what is objective, what is that, you know, I don't know. I don't. But there are certain things that are more solid, that are solider, that are more better, to put it as Idiocracy put it, that are even more better as things to judge works of art by. We're not talking about like scientific theories here or hypotheses. There aren't any experiments you can do or equations you can derive, but there are things that serve as spectra of agreement. Places where people can agree. Mostly, not everyone, but most people. A broad, reasonable degree of agreement. But when it comes to the personal things that are involved in something being your favorite, it's like saying, what is your favorite memory? You know, what's your favorite food? Who knows what goes into that? So I can try to explain all day why this game is my favorite game, but there's so much that's personal about that perhaps it could have just as well been any other game. Perhaps it would have been Resident Evil 4, which it damn near is, which is the game I played after this game. It could have been Resident Evil 4 if I had played that before I played this game. Could have been Resident Evil 5. Fuck, I don't know. Could have been something totally outside of the box for me, like Shadow of the Colossus, if I played that first. I don't know. So you see, it's a commonly acknowledged problem with aesthetics in general, and you know, with video games it just gets a little out of hand. Well, people start, you criticize a game, like I've criticized the shit out of this game this whole playthrough. I've probably criticized it more than I've praised it, really. And like that what makes you a hater? A hater? Is that the word we use today? I don't know, I'm too old, but a hater. No, I mean, hating is kind of an attitude, right? That's what it is. You're adopting an attitude towards something. But criticism is not intrinsically hateful or not hateful. It's just criticism, and it's either legitimate or not, or valid or not, or sound or not. If it's offered in a hateful spirit, yeah, then you're a hater, but it doesn't have anything to do with it. So when I hear people criticizing this game, I don't get mad about it. Why would I get mad? I mean, how does it hurt me in any way? I'm sorry that the game did not appeal to them, because I want to share this experience and have people talk about it for ages on end. I want more people to like it, not to
Was so close.
gratify my ego, let's say, and confirm that I'm right, that this game is so awesome, but so just people can tell me things I haven't thought of before and bring new things to light and show me new strategies and shit. That's what, that's all that matters to me. And if people don't like it, I get that. But I think, to circle back, most people who are coming around to this game now are starting to say, you know, there's this weird thing about this game. I fucking hate it, but I fucking love it. And I use this term in my Shinobi video called Hate Love. And, you know, I said I hate love that game. And I think a lot of people are finding that to be the case with this one. They hate love it. You know, the reviewer, he's excellent. The reviewer on YouTube, Chris Davis, he has done very lengthy reviews of both this game and the sequel. And I think he gave the first game a 3 out of 5. This game, 3 out of 5 stars. Called it mediocre, but memorable. And he gave the second one a 4 out of 5 and said it was a better game. But if you look into the details there, the way he described the first game was as a game of very high highs and very low lows that just balanced out for him into an average game, right? And that's the way he sort of found the mean between the very high highs and the very low lows. But that made it interesting. That was his word. It made it interesting. And he said the second game is a better game, but less interesting and lacks the magic of the first game, is what he called it. And that I have a feeling, this is not any kind of like theory that I've built up in my mind or thought through in any way, but I have a feeling that most of the things that we consider really great works are like that. They have flaws, and they're not perfect, and they're rough around the edges. But all of this, it's like a person, right? I mean, your favorite person is probably not someone who's perfect. Not that we know anyone who's perfect, but someone who even approaches perfection. Your favorite person is probably going to be someone who is, I'm going to use a phrase that maybe is not quite 100% accurate, but I think will convey my point, who is flawed enough to be interesting. All right? And, yeah, that's not all they're going to be. They're going to have considerable virtues as well, but they are going to have, you know, holes. They're going to have dark places and dark spots and blemishes, and it's going to make them idiosyncratic. And I think it's the same with works of art. You know, there are things that are just, they're not perfect, but they're idiosyncratic in a way that is just deeply appealing to people, to a great deal of people, most people. Great works of art, they have that effect. So I don't know how much gel I have here, but 8,000. That's jack shit. I told you it wasn't going to be a lot. But we'll see if I can do like one more upgrade to maybe my shotgun. Yeah. How about the Magnum? See, I just don't need that. The reload time. Unless your accuracy isn't up, you're not going to be missing enough to have to fucking reload the thing in the first place. So I'm just going to do that. You know, I don't know. I don't really have a point in what I'm saying right now. I'm just sort of talking about how it's possible to have a consensus develop around something, or at least a widely shared opinion that wasn't... that's about an object that is also widely acknowledged to be highly flawed. This positive, or indeed like classic estimation of something, this estimation of something as a classic, even when it's highly flawed. I guess that's how it's possible, you know, it's kind of like people. Anyway, these are really tricky discussions to get into, and I just really, my main goal here, my point, is that the beginning of this level is really long and quiet, and we just needed something to fucking talk about, you know? Okay. So now we're finally coming up to some action.
Poor guy.
So let's get into the
Rest in
meat here.
peace.
Let's get into the meat bowls. There are, as you would expect, many different ways to do this fight. It's an arena fight. It's the biggest one in the game. And again, you're dealing with 4 corners. 1, 2, just pretend this room is the arena. 3, 4. Okay, and there's fucking eyes everywhere and whatever. And on each of these floors, there are on each of these sides, there are 2 floors. You know, a kind of top and a bottom. Usually you have to use a ladder or climb up some steps. All right. Now, it's going to break down like this. In your first wave, you're going to be starting here. Pretend this is where the cutscene ends when you get in. And you're going to want to be going to this side, to your right side. So what you're going to do is you're going to have to turn around like this and run to these stairs and go up a ladder, okay? And 4 people are going to spawn from up in this little place with a sheet hanging over it, and you're going to kill them. Then all the way over here across the arena on the other side, 4 people are going to spawn down there, just like from here. And you want to kill them. Then you're going to have a breather, but in the middle of the arena in the center, like right where this guy is, a Ruvik clone along with 3 enemies, I think, behind him are going to spawn, and you want to kill him. Then, phase 2. Again, 3 people going to spawn from up here, same exact place as before. And then over here, you're going to get 4 enemies again, but with the addition of 3 fat guys who come from which area? Sorry, the fat guys are going to come from this area over here, and then 4 guys over here, and then the sadist is going to spawn finally at the end up here firing a rocket launcher. And that's, you know, that's a description of what happens, just your order. You have quadrants, and they're mostly coming from the 2 sides. 1, 2. Those are where your enemies are coming from. In the intermission, you have Ruvik here, and then at the end, you have the sadist there. What you need for this fight at a bare minimum is 4 shock bolts and 2 flash bolts and some, shotgun rounds. So let's build up our shock bolts to the maximum. Let's max out our flash bolts just in case. And I believe my explosive bolts already are maxed out. Okay, wait. 1, 2, 3. You know what I want to do? You guys are going to think I'm stupid, but I want to make this switching between these bolts as quick and as simple as possible. So if you get rid of your harpoon bolts, you can know that from your shock bolt, it's 1, 2 to your flash, and then 1, 2 to your shock. That is... I don't know how that works, but it does. Okay. And that's really all you're going to need. Now, the way you're going to do this is you're going to try to go up to back and up the ladder as quick as you can and stand where the people are going to drop down, shotgun them, and then quickly pull out a flashbolt and flash them and burn them. Then quickly switch to your shock bolt, turn around, and send it way across the arena to make sure those guys get shocked when they drop down. Run over and burn them. Then run down to the middle, put a shock bolt where the Ruvik clone is going to spawn, burn them. Then, running back to the side you began at, put a shock bolt right in front of the stairs you go up. The fat guys will eventually run in there 1, 2, 3, and you can burn them on the way down. But that'll be after you go up the ladder and kill those guys and blah blah, and it's over. That's a description of the fight. But you see, it's flash, shock, 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 flash, shock. So 4 flash bolts. I'm sorry, 2 flash bolts, 4 shock bolts. I rarely execute this without dying because, again, oh shit! No. I fucked up. Oh, I want to equip my Magnum. Oh. You're gonna need it to kill the sadist at the end. Man. Guys, equip your Magnum before the fight starts. You're not gonna need your handgun. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see if I can get it done. Okay, turn around and go up these stairs. Alright. I'm gonna put it right about there. Oh. Okay, you're gonna get, well, come on, equip the Magnum. Alright, so you're gonna wait for these guys to come down here. And burn. These guys are going to come down and burn. And the sadist is going to come. Run! And these guys are still going to be alive. That's really your only worry there. And there you go. I mean, if you're quicker killing the sadist than I was, is there anybody alive? Yeah. I don't like that explosive bolt being there. That's really the quickest way to do it. You know, it's not terribly difficult as long as you can switch between your bolts quickly. I don't know, just for me, rifling through those things is really difficult. It takes my attention off of what's going on around me, and I just kind of and I get all fucked up. Wait, what? Oh. Well, I mean, I don't think we're struggling at all for ammo because we did that so efficiently. And by the way, that strategy is it comes from a video that it's pretty old. It's maybe over a year old now, from Jigsaw Killer. There was another way to do this that I used to do with from K-Hunk, and he would go up there and put, at the beginning of the second phase, he would go up there and put a shock bolt with 2 explosive bolts next to it, and then just run over here and kill these guys, shock them and kill them, and then take the sadist out from here. The first phase is pretty much identical with the K-Hunk and the Jigsaw strategy, but the second phase, the icing on the cake for me was putting the shock bolt right there for the fat guys. That is wonderful, because you can just while these guys are getting shocked, you're burning all 3 of those fat guys, and then just running up here and icing the sadist real quick. Like, no worries. Unless you... And one of the things I've noticed too is that one of your magnum shots always seems to go through him. It certainly did in the video that Jigsaw did it on. I'll put a link on it, and I think it happened to me as well. So this room is much easier. You're just going to snipe 4 guys. That's it. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and where the fuck are you, man? There you are. Done. And now we come to a part that can be challenging if you don't have a magnum, but we do have a magnum, so it's going to be cream cheese. So, you're going to be fighting 2 keepers. One of them's going to be a little tankish, but with level 5 damage multiplier. on your Magnum, they should both take 3 shots, but really doesn't matter. One might take 4. I swear there's a fucking bear trap in here somewhere. Fuck off. Really? Maybe it's... Did I go over here? What the fuck do I care if there's a fucking bear trap or not? You know, it's like... You become really OCD about this stuff, like just scouring for resources and scavenging. I do not care, but I always religiously go around this fucking room and collect all the shit after the fight is over. So, here's how you do the fight. Put a shock bolt, I don't know. There. It really doesn't matter. I guess maybe try to keep them a little far away from you. And then when they get shocked, do the unthinkable and shoot them. Think you can handle that? I tell you. Okay, I am just not gonna get anything in this room because you don't need shit anymore. You really don't need your weapons anymore. Where's my handgun? Hello, handgun. Although I will try to maybe make use of my shotgun. This part is more fucking annoying than hard. I wanna maybe... I might consider using a flashbolt here. Whatever. Because you actually can flash his eyes up on the ceiling.
Ruvik, I created this world. You cannot keep me here.
I don't want to keep you here, Ruvik. I want to fucking kill you. I mean, there is a distinction. Come on. Oh, I already ran around it. That's special. Well, you learn as you go. I was trying to do it fast because this part really tries my patience. You look, you do not need a walkthrough for this part. Okay? You just don't. And I know this because I don't really know what the fuck I'm doing whenever I do this part. God damn it. You really have to round that corner really tight to not hit that bear trap. I just wanted to have the feeling of running through this part. I don't know, it's a good feeling. So I'll try one more time, and if I fuck up again, I'll just take it slow. Come on. Come on, go, go, go. Oh! Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm done fucking around, guys. I promise I will stop fucking around. So the real deal is, you know, you get in those lights, and they don't kill you. Only bear traps and bombs kill you. But yeah, the lights just send you back to the beginning. So that's what killed me. There's a fucking bomb trap there. I mean, a wire trap. Alright. Go get that way. That away. Okay. I'm gonna... God damn motherfuck. Hey Sebastian, have a holly jolly Christmas. Boom. You've been a bad boy. Man. So I learned my lesson. I'm not shooting that one. I'm just gonna go under it. But there is a bear trap there that you can shoot. And I will. And there's a bomb, but again, I'm really nervous about shooting it now. Because these things... Who cares? So, if you go around this way, and you want to make this a little easier for yourself, you can kind of flash the eyes. Come around here. Shoot that. And you're done. Not too difficult, eh? Just like in the keeper fight. Go left. Go right. Go middle. So, we're coming to the final battle right now, which is one of the reasons why a lot of people were extremely disappointed. It left a bad taste in their mouth. It felt quite anticlimactic because the final battle was such a piece of shit. And I have to agree. It has every gimmicky type of thing that I fucking hate in fights. Like that shit from Dead Space, if you remember, when you like have to sit down at that thing and shoot those fucking asteroids with that annoying gun. It has that. It has terrible aim with a rocket launcher that for some reason they feel like they want to make it really accurate. Like an accurate depiction of how a rocket launcher would fire really far, so it like curves and sways and flies off at angles elliptically and shit. Stupid. Then you're running, you know, from this big monster, and then you have to do a quick shot, boom, in 0.5 seconds, or he eats you. Look, this boss is the reason why I feel like I could never do a no-death run. I am serious. I feel confident that if I practiced enough, I'm not saying I have or I will, but if I did, I could probably, you know, build up the skill to do something like a no-death run, but I don't think I could ever do it on this boss. It's just too weird and doesn't, you know, the mechanics are just weird. It's gimmicky, it sucks. I know people who've had no-death runs like end on the very last part. They missed the shot to kill Ruvik at the end. What kind of shit is that? And aside from all of that, I can tolerate janky and weird and annoying and bad, but it's not fun. At least not for me, and I don't really know anyone who considers it fun. So I think that's a good indication. So go left. Wait. Go left again. Guess where you're going this time. Left. Alright, see, in this part, I die on sometimes. I don't know why. I get stuck on something. That's my best explanation. But anyway, here you go. Left. Right. Left. Come on, man. Right. And then now, this is probably my least favorite part of the whole fight. This is like that Dead Space shit I was talking about. And you have to do these micro movements with the aim. And I'm not good at that. Come on. Try to shoot him in the brain. Come on. Ugh. God damn, that was close. Alright, now comes like, what are you gonna do on this part? What are you gonna do? You just kind of aim and shoot and try to hit him in the balls. I think this Ruvik creature has huge balls because he might have felt castrated in real life, like a castrati. I don't know. Balls are like a big thing for him. And this creature has a really huge nutsack. So, yeah. Let's do that. Let's do that. Do that. Now, that was lucky. Yeah, if he gets to you at the end, he's gonna raise his face up like that, and you just gotta shoot him in the face and then shoot him in the brain. Alright, let's see if I can make this shot. Got him! You guys might be surprised to hear that I believe that is the first time I've ever done the final boss fight without dying. I'm not kidding. That was pretty intense, but it sucks anyway. So I mean, that's it. That's the end of the game. And all you really have after this is like DLC and the second game. And what can you say about that? What can you say about the second game that other people haven't said already? It's and story-wise, it's probably better. But just since this is not a story run. Fuck that. Don't even talk about the story. Let's just talk about like let's talk about the relevant thing. The hardest difficulty of the game, right? And you've just been through this little Akumu adventure with me, and probably have been through others. I mean, I don't see why you would watch videos like these if you haven't watched other Akumu videos and don't enjoy watching them. Hey, brain. Have a holly jolly. Fuck, miss.
Vital sign, sir.
So, you know, you probably have an interest in more than just the game, but also in hardest difficulty challenges and in challenging yourself with those challenges. For me,
Leave that one.
classic
And
mode.
those two.
In case you don't know, classic mode is the hardest difficulty on the second game, and it's
No
very
one can.
different from Akumu. It's no upgrades, limited saves. You get 7 saves, and that's it. I mean, it's ostensibly it's supposed to be a throwback to the old way of doing things, the old Resident Evil style, where you did have the ink ribbons and you didn't upgrade. But there, you know, people are split on this. For me, the difference in style between Akumu and classic mode is never the twain shall meet. I almost feel like if one person loves one mode, they're necessarily going to hate the other. I'm sure there are people who loved both, but mostly what I read are people who love one or the other. I don't know any people, like I said, I'm sure they exist, but I don't know personally any people, and I haven't read people who really loved both modes. I know people who hate both, but love both, no. And when you're playing classic mode, it's the tension is generated, the challenge is generated, not so much from having to master things, because there's still RNG in the game, and it's still, you know, you can still make a mistake, and if you do make a mistake or some bullshit happens, you're liable to lose hours and hours of progress. And then you come back to the part you died on, and then your heart's beating really fast and your palms are sweating, not because it's so fucking hard, but because you just don't want to lose that fucking time again. Life is short. Life is short. We don't have time for this bullshit. So in effect, it's kind of like a series of quasi-permadeaths. And I fucking hate permadeath. I hate it. Everything about it. I think permadeath is like the cheapest form of hardest difficulty there is. Just to say it, it's like if you were being absolutely thoughtless and wanted to make a hardest difficulty, you just say, give them the base fucking game on the hardest difficulty, nightmare or whatever, and then just say 1 death and it's over. Blech. And then if you want to be even more dickish about it, like on The Evil Within 2, you just say take away upgrades. It's not fun. That's the problem with it, really, ultimately. You know, I'm not here to pass judgment on the concept of the thing, which is, in principle, it's fine. I love Resident Evil 1. I love those old Resident Evil games. But whatever it is, in the abstract, in practice, it doesn't work. The shit is not fun. It's just stressful and frustrating. And it's the wrong kind of stressful and frustrating. With Akumu, you are slowly progressing step by step by step, mastering the game piece by piece by piece. Now it requires patience, and it can be massively frustrating. Of course, I mean, the first time I played, I almost pulled my fucking hair out playing the gondola ride. I must have died 60 times on it. Of course. But a hardest difficulty has to punish you in some way. It is going to be punishing. And the question is just like if you feel that the punishment is rewarding you enough to keep going. I feel that Akumu, of all the hardest difficulties I've played, you know, the real survivor on Resident Evil 1, professional on Resident Evil 4, veteran on Resident Evil 5, insane difficulty on Outlast, whatever, you know, of all of the hardest difficulties I've played, Akumu is simply the most fun. Most of those other modes I don't ever want to play again. Professional on RE4 is fun, but not coincidentally, that's a Shinji Mikami game. But classic mode, I never want to see it again. Ever. That's... You know, and there's another thing about it. The way that The Evil Within 2 is built as a game is that it's more of a stealthy game with punctuated by boss battles that are the opposite of stealthy. They're more like be really fast, run and shoot with a boss who sort of teleports all around you and attacks you quickly and lethally. So stealth, quiet, no, don't engage enemies. Why would you? You don't get any gel. You don't get to upgrade. And that style of play, it simply doesn't suit everyone. And I realized that the director, John Johannes, he did say he tried to design it so that you could play in multiple ways. And indeed, on lower difficulties, you can. But it's very hard for anyone but the most skilled to play take different strategies in different places on classic mode. Mostly, it's going to be the same idea. Stealth around, don't engage, run and gun the bosses, and be good at that. Okay? And if you're not, that mode can be quite forbidding. Really forbidding. But Akumu mode it's inviting. You can play it any way you want, really. As long as you're not just going into every room and just being a dumbass and just waving your guns in the air like you just don't care. You know what I mean? Like, as long as you're not playing like that, you know, it accommodates different skill sets. And one of the things that just keeps bringing me back to this game is that I watch the videos and I study and I practice different ways of doing things and I see what works best. That way I did the chapter 15 fight, the arena fight on this. I had never done that before. I saw it in a video. I was going to use the K-Hunk strategy. That was my plan. And then before that, I always used Mike Betancourt's strategy, sort of with a mixture of my own, because he does a little sniper shot that I can never pull off. But I just found, I said, wow, when I saw Jigsaw's strategy there, particularly with the fat guys. It was just so perfect. And you're always learning new stuff like that, and you don't have to be particularly skillful to do that. It does require skill, it does require some quickness, but not particularly, not especially skillful. So I love this because it invites you in. It invites people in. It's inviting. It says, do you want a legitimate challenge? You're a great player. We challenge you to do this in the most fucking efficient way possible. You're not a skilled player. Figure out how to cheese it. You can. It is cheesable. It invites everybody. And classic mode, while you could say it does, doesn't. And apart from that, even for those it does invite, like many people I know who had relatively little problem with classic mode, unlike me, I had a big problem with it, but many people I know just find it easy. And they still didn't like it because it was not fun and it was stressful in the wrong way. And I just regret it. I regret that's the direction that they went in. Now, immediately I want to add, we were talking about hating earlier. I'm not hating on The Evil Within 2. I like the game. I'm happy it exists. I encourage you to play it, and I'm happy if you love it. Yeah, I'm happy if you love it more than the first game. That's fine. And I can say many good things about it, like the sense of humor in that game. Nothing approaches that in this game. This game has no sense of humor. It's grim all the way through, and that's okay. That's the mood of the game, but I like things to lighten up a little bit sometimes. And John Johannes evidently is a really funny motherfucker. Like some of those Easter eggs, man. Like when in Chapter 8, if you go back to see O'Neill and they say, you know, O'Neill, get out here. I got some serious shit going on. And O'Neill will say, I'm not going out there, man. I told you. It's fucking evil out there. And then what does Sebastian say? You know, yeah, but there's evil within too. And then they break the fourth wall and look at the screen. I mean, that shit is hilarious. Just hilarious. I see that and I can't believe it's real. I can't believe they did that. You know, when you get every upgrade, fucking Tatiana throws you a party. You know, just blowing the the blow toy and from a birthday and fireworks going off and shit. It's cheesy. It's knowingly cheesy, and it's funny, and I appreciate that. And there's witty dialogue too, like genuinely witty stuff is being said. Like again when he's talking to O'Neill, and O'Neill says something like, "There's a thin line between courage and stupidity," and then Sebastian shoots back and said, "Yeah, well, there's also a thin line between prudence and cowardice." I mean, that's a really good line. And there is nothing that clever in The Evil Within 1. My point has only been, for at least the last 2 videos, that I appreciate that, but that is not specifically why I play games. So it doesn't move me. I don't care about that in my grand scheme of estimation factors. I don't care. So ultimately it evidently moved other people more than it moved me. The quality of the writing, the sense of humor, the crispness of the graphics, and all of the sheer professionalism of the second game moved people more than it did me. And that's cool. So I'm not hating on the game at all. My problem with it is largely there's too much story, too much dialogue, too many unskippable cutscenes. What do you do when you play a game? You personally. There are certain games that are meant to be full-on story-based games. Like, the game is the story, basically. Quantic games, Until Dawn. You're not playing these games for the gameplay, really. And then, like, there's RPGs, which are kind of similar. At least JRPGs often are. But for the most part, you play a game once, probably on a lower difficulty so that you can unlock the hardest difficulty. You watch all the cutscenes, you get the basic story, and then you go on to what you really want. You want your upgrades, you want your New Game Plus. You don't want to play the game ever again. Or you want your hardest difficulty challenge. But either way, you go on to that next thing and you're fucking skipping all those cutscenes. You're not watching the story again. Why do you need to? You know, it's one thing to watch a movie 10 times in a few years. But, I mean, when you're playing games, you're often going day after day after day. Like, imagine you're doing insane runs on Outlast 2, which I did. You know, watching those cutscenes again and again and again and again, it drives you fucking crazy. It's just inexcusable. And they did that on The Evil Within 2. I mean, there are many scenes of just pure filler. Just walking with Torres or talking with Hoffman. It drags it out. I was playing The Evil Within 2 on a New Game Plus, just fucking around before I went into my recent forays into Akumu. And I didn't even make it past chapter 10. I mean, I didn't die. I quit. I was just I got so bored. The pace of the game was just bogging down so much in this. I didn't feel like I was playing enough. Like I wasn't actually playing the game enough. That really bothers me. Because like I've been saying, that's why I play games, to fucking play games. That's it. I don't get this meta level or this narrative level that really does anything for me. I can appreciate it. I can appreciate quality writing. I can appreciate a quality story. And I'll agree with you. But it doesn't move me on my estimation of what the game is for me. Good or bad, fun or not fun, challenging or not challenging, what have you. I mean, all of those things doesn't budge me. So that ultimately is my problem with The Evil Within 2. You may differ from me, and that's why I would never tell anyone not to play it. I love this franchise. I love Shinji Mikami. I think John Johannes himself is talented, though I would have preferred it if Ikumi Nakamura was given a shot. I really don't know why. Maybe she didn't want it. I mean, she's the one who made all the characters for this game. She has a wicked imagination. Wicked. And I would have liked to see what her more grounded and realistic, physical type of vision would have done. She has a very physical imagination, you know, physical horror. Her creatures are fleshy and gory and dirty. They stink. You can smell them through the screen. But whatever. Maybe she will get to direct Evil Within 3. If we support Evil Within and Evil Within 2 and buy them and play them enough. Maybe. I'm dubious about that, but maybe. Whatever the case, just whether you prefer Classic Mode or Akumu or the Evil Within 1 to the Evil Within 2, support them all. All right, we're all one on this. You know, when we fight over which game is better, that's an in-family argument. That's an in-family fight. You know, we're not enemies here. We're frenemies. And let's realize that our common goal here is to just keep supporting Mikami, keep supporting single-player, rather linear, you know, horror experience, survival horror games like this that very few people are capable of making anymore, and much less willing to make anymore. The combat-based, upgrading strategy, puzzle-type survival horror game, I mean, it's either that, which is pretty much just Mikami, and formerly Dead Space, but Dead Space is gone now, or like the first-person, helpless, run, hide, or die game, like Outlast. And I love Outlast, the first Outlast, but I can't really take those kinds of games anymore. I mean, they've worn out their welcome. They were nice while they lasted, but there needs to be more complexity in the gameplay to really keep you hooked and coming back. I mean, I don't really play Outlast anymore, and that's telling. Even though I adore it, I just don't play it anymore. What am I going to get out of it? So we are all in on this together, you know, supporting this endeavor and what it is. And I just hope that these videos, however many people watch them, just contribute however little to keeping that torch lit. That's all I'm really about in every video I make. You know, I'm just supporting things that I feel deserve to be supported. With my time, with my thoughts, with my research, with my frustration and stress and whatever. But I also derive enjoyment from it. That's why I'm supporting it. If I can convey that to a viewer who maybe wasn't convinced before, all the better. All the better. So I hope this was an enjoyable series for everybody. It was enjoyable for me, and I have to confess I'm sad that it's over. I am. I'm sad that it's over. As this game goes on and as you're reaching the end, you start to look back and, you know, at all how pissed off you were and whatever, and you feel slightly exhausted but also slightly inspired, and you start to realize that you almost don't want it to end. You hope there's more, there's something new coming, and when it turns out there isn't, you kind of realize, yeah, I enjoyed that more than I thought I did. That's where I am now. Every time I play through this game, I have the same feeling. I start to get a little sad when I get around chapter 13, because I know that's really the crescendo for me. But alas, it is over, and I simply, my wish is that I was able to convey some of my passion for this game and give some entertainment to people who share that passion. And for people who wish to take on Akumu, I hope that I was useful. I hope that I gave you some useful information, useful links, useful people to look at their videos. I want it to be a kind of one-stop shop for the best in Akumu strategy on the Evil Within. That's about all I have to say. 142 deaths, 12, you know, could have been less if I wasn't fucking around so much, but that's pretty good, all things considered. This is Leon Kennedy, signing off.